Hey there viewers, a Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Studio Series Gamer Edition Thundercracker. Now, this is the last of the, Gamer Edition Seekers. Because of course we had Starscream as the first one, then we had Skywarp, and now we have Thundercracker. I don't think they're going to do the Coneheads, because I think they only appeared in, like, the DS game. Or at least Ramjet did, if I remember correctly. So, I think it's just going to be the main trio. But hey, at least they completed the trio. So, that's cool. Now, of course, we've got the box to look at. And of course, we've got the new style Studio Series box. So, of course, we've got Thundercracker right here in both modes. Takes 29 steps to transform him. I'm not sure if that's the same with Skywarp and Starscream. Anyway, it just says Thundercracker here. They dropped the Gamer Edition label with these new style boxes, but obviously we're still going to call it Gamer Edition for the Fall of Cybertron figures. Because, of course, Fall of Cybertron. Got Thundercracker right there. Here we just have more of this artwork. The back got him in both modes. Of course, you can swap out the arm for the gun. Got a picture of him in game, which is pretty cool. I think that's one of the renders. And it says what he does in the game. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And now for the figure. And of course, obviously it's a retool, or at least redeco of Gamer Edition Starscream. I'm not sure if it's a new head or not, but it's at least a redeco of Starscream, as to be expected. And honestly, with Thundercracker being my favorite Seeker after the three, I'm quite excited for this one. So right off the bat, we can see he's in that wonderful blue, which on camera, the blue's actually kind of darker than it is in person. Like, it's a lot lighter blue in person, but anyway, of course, got that Cybertronian jet look, the forward-facing wings, the closed-up tail fin, got the cockpit, which of course, people have said is a bit too big. Got the boosters, which, of course, you can put in blast effects if you want. So you can do that. And one thing I've noticed is the tail fins seem to have a bit of a metallic paint to them, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you can see it's kind of shiny. So that I do like. Underneath, we just have a folded up robot. Yeah, it's the same that we saw with Starscream and Thundercracker. Not Thundercracker, Skywarp. I'm getting the Seekers mixed up now. But it's pretty much the same jet mode that we saw with Skywarp and Starscream, just now in Thundercracker colors. So really, the new things are the accessories. So we still get that huge mace that came with Skywarp and Starscream. But of course, got a new gun, which is the gun that Barricade came with. No, seriously, if I take the gun from, like, the Decepticon Grunt figure, it's literally the same gun model. It's not the same mold, but it's based on the same gun from the game. But it's a brand new mold, but it's the same gun design. So, okay. But hey, if you wanted to, you could get this to Barricade, so he can actually hold the gun now, because this one actually has the peg. So, yeah. But, yeah, it's literally the same gun that came with Barricade and the Decepticon Grunts. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. I think that's the first time that they've reused guns. I figure that's not a redeco. Like, plus the fact that it's a new mold is also really perplexing to me. So yeah. But anyway, of course, we can just plug this on the side here. And of course, ruin the aerodynamics of the plane by just plugging the mace on top. There we go. And can this gun take blast effects? It looks like it does. So we can't have him shooting, which is pretty cool. And normally I would have him with Starscream and Skywarp here, but seeing how it would be the same transformations 3 times, I would probably go insane doing that. Because it's just, I mean, it's the same transformation 3 times. I'll get really repetitive for me. So instead, here's the original, like, Thrilling 30 Thundercracker figure. Now, technically that's not Fall of Cybertron Thundercracker, but, or like Fall of Cybertron Thundercracker, I'm pretty sure, but it's the same, like, design. It's just, this is actually, well, War for Cybertron Thundercracker. This is like IDW Thundercracker, I'm pretty sure, but still. And honestly, yeah, they are quite close. There are some color discrepancies, but still. And of course, the cockpit here is much bigger, as we've talked about. But overall, they did do a pretty good job of recreating the colors. Of course, this is based on how he appears in games, so... And yeah, that's pretty much it for the jet modes. Overall, I do really like the jet modes. Like, it was really cool on Starscream. I did like Skywarp's colors, but on Thundercracker, my favorite Seeker, I think it looks really good. I think it's just because I love the blue on Thundercrackers. So, yeah. Like, obviously, this is my favorite out of the Gamer Edition figures. I think that'll be like Ironhide and Ratchet, but this is still a really good figure. So, just moving on to the transformation. Of course, it's the same transformation that the other two have, so nothing new here. So, trying to raise my camera without breaking my Lego stand. There we go. No need to jump cut this time. So yeah, the transformation is exactly the same. So to start off, we're just going to unpack this back section here from the legs, or what's going to be the legs. And all of this just moves forward. There we go. This all becomes a backpack, and we'll sort this nearing the end of the transformation, because what we're going to do is fold in these little tail fins here. Extend out the legs, and they do it sideways. There we go. And then this panel comes down and closes up. And then the foot folds out. That's one leg done. So the other leg, so we just extend that out sideways. This panel comes around and closes up. Foot comes out, and that's the legs done. Next, with the arms, we just untap them. There we go. Let's get the arms straightened out. There we go. Straighten out the shoulders. Move the arms down. Untap these little blue sections here. Open up the cockpit. Try and push the head through. Spin around the head. There we go. try and get this little nose cone tip in. We'll close up the cockpit again. Right. Oh, this is just going to try and close up. Come on. There we go. So the head's just going to go into place. These little bits just going to fold outwards. And now we do the backpack. So all this opens up. These pylons fold in. The tail fins spin around. And on Thundercracker, they seem to come off a lot easier. Like, why? I have no idea. But yeah, the tail fins spin around. Then the wings just fold down. And these collapse back up. So we can just move all this up, form his backpack. And here we have Thundercracker in robot mode. And yeah, that's quite the cool looking transformation. Like, I do like how the backpack works. It's just, it can be kind of fiddly going back into the jet mode because there's these tabs on the arms which I can, yeah, like you see little like, bits there. Then you have to tab it in a very specific way. So, I'm pretty sure I missed out on Starscream and Skywars videos. So yeah. But the resulting robot mode, I think, looks really good. Especially as Thundercracker. So yeah. And of course the heads, which, well, if I quickly bring in Skywarp, if you remember his head, he had that like, weird squinting expression. Well, with Thundercracker here, he just seems to have a normal scowling expression. I think that's the same head as Starscream has, but oh well. So like, no funny head sculpt this time, but I still think it's a cool looking head. So yeah. And of course, we can't give him his weapons. So we give him a huge beating stick. Or if you want, you can just plug this onto here, but I'm just going to have him hold this. There we go. And it does actually weigh his arm down quite a bit. Like, you see how it's, yeah, the wrist is kind of loose when he holds it. Plus, it weighs his arm down. It's the same with Starscream and Skywarp. So he's best like holding it over his shoulder, I feel. And of course, with Starscream, he was the first one where you could just have him hold the gun normally. And of course, Thundercracker continues that, because you can just plug this in. If you don't want him, like, if you don't want to tear the arm off to replace this with the gun, then there you go. And yeah, that does look pretty cool. Although, of course, that's the whole thing with the Fall of Cybertron guys. You can tear the arm off and just plug the freaking gun in directly. There we go. And it does have me curious. What does this look like on the grunt or barricade? No, I'm not going to show a barricade, but seeing how it's meant to be the same gun design, and it's not going on, or at least not. It's not cleanly going on. So yeah. And of course, on the grunt, the arm always comes off. I probably complained about that in his video, but does the grunt's gun go on Thundercracker? And it does. So if you want to do that, then, well, there you go. But let's give him his actual gun back. So yeah. That is an option if you want to do it. That's pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, the Seeker mold is one of the ones that doesn't really have a clever way of storing the arm anywhere. You know, like how Ratchet has a dedicated compartment to storing his arm. The Seekers just don't have that, unfortunately. So I just end up plugging this on the... I just plug this on the other arm, which does look kind of weird, but at least it's storage, even if it doesn't go on cleanly. And it's actually kind of a loose connection, too. Like, it's actually falling off. Slightest connection is normally much better on Starscream and Skywarp. Okay, so I guess on my Thundercracker, this connection is just a lot crappier. So this is just not going on, unfortunately. Plus, as you can see, his wrist seems to just be really loose. It's the same thing on my other Seekers, so there's that. But anyway, he does still look really cool. Like, if I put him with the other Seekers, which I'm just going to take these off as well. Like, that looks really cool. So, yeah. Like, I do wonder if I'll get, like, some of the DS exclusive Seekers, like Ramjet, for example. But, honestly, I do kind of doubt that, but, But you can see that everyone has a different weapon, like, Starscream's got a sniper rifle, Skywarp's got a missile launcher, this guy's just got a standard gun, so yeah. And if you want, you can mix and match every single gun if you want to. And I guess, seeing how they have the same sort of gun design, let's put them with the Grunt. I will get Barricade as well, but no, I chose the Grunt, so you can see how they have the same sort of gun. And finally, here's Generations Thundercracker. And honestly, yeah, the colors do match up. I mean, via blue instead of black on the original, but still. And keep in mind, like, the original Generations guy was not meant to be like the War for Cybertron character. It's meant to be like IDW Thundercracker. So yeah. And finally, let's move on to articulation, which I'm just going to take this off for. So head can go side to side. You look up that far, down, not that much. Arms can move, but the wings do get in the way. You can T-pose, bicep rotation, double jointed elbows. Come on. Wrists can rotate, although it's kind of loose, especially if you have the weapon in. Waist rotation. You can kick forward, you can kick back. Knees about that far. Silver at the thigh, you can do the splits. Pivot about there, and the feet can kind of go in and out. So yeah, kind of poseable. Most likely I'm going to pose them like Most likely, I'm going to oppose him like bludgeoning someone with this or shooting at someone because, as I did state earlier, this gun can take blast effects, which is pretty cool. So yeah. But that's pretty much all I've got to say about this guy. My complaints are pretty much the same as the other uses of this mold. Unique complaints, I can't really think of any. Although, yeah, I can't really think of any unique complaints for Thundercracker. All my complaints are the same from Starscream and Skywarp. So, yeah. So, do I recommend this guy? Well, if you're a fan of the Fall of Cybertron game, if you're a fan of Thundercracker, if you're a fan of the Seekers, absolutely, because this is a really cool addition to your Seeker collection or Thundercracker collection or whatever. Plus, honestly, I think this is probably the best looking out of the free War for Cybertron Seekers. Like, I'm probably just being biased again because, again, I love Thundercracker, but I just think he looks really cool. Maybe if he had like a different gun, because Barricade already had this gun, but it still fits him. So yeah, I definitely do recommend this guy. He looks really cool. Although he's definitely being overshadowed by some other figures in this wave, such as Megatron and some of the Constructicons. I still say give this guy a shot because I just really like him, and honestly, I just really like the Gamer Edition line. Hopefully we get some more figures soon. I would really like a Brawl, but But anyway, this has been my review on Studio Series Gamer Edition Thundercracker, and this is Shelly Young, signing off.